And that's a very short documented history of Lindores and why we're here making whiskey. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go through the distillery and we'll do a quick whistle stop tour. Okay. This is where we do all our milling. So we've got the malt and barley here. At Lindores since 2019, all the barley that's used for malt comes from fields immediately around the distillery. So earlier it's local barley, yes. So I explained to you that the monks were here and they looked after the farmland, the arable land, and they looked after land within a 4-mile radius of where we are just now. So the fields that where the barley was growing, they were in that original stewardship of the monks. So as you correctly say, we refer to this as our local barley, our local malt. The first year it was Fife barley, so anywhere in Fife we've got our barley, but this is our local barley, and this is what we will continue to use. We will continue to work with the local farmers and make sure that we've got barley grown in fields that the monks would have been using 500 years ago as well. Okay? So we mash 5 times per week, 2-ton mash. So Monday to Friday we run the mill for 2 hours, malted barley in the top, and then the grist out the bottom, and then into the grist. Okay? And that gets done Monday to Friday every morning. Into the distillery itself. Mash tun. Yep. Probably just finished second water, so we'll have a little look inside, see what's going on. Yeah, just coming to the end of second water. So third water will be starting very, very soon.
So this is the second water is how much?
Say again, sorry?
What's the temperature of the second?
Second water starts off at 75 all the way up to about 82.
Okay.
And then third water is as high as we can get it, up about 90. And that's just to take the last of the sugars that might be remaining and generate water for the next day's mash. Very much a traditional semi-litre tun, mash tun. Normally about a 6-hour process, so we'll start off at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm normally sending draft out by 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
You start at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Sorry, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock in the morning, and we'll finish at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Drafting out time.
And what's the capacity for Lindores?
So, at the moment we're running about 150,000 litres of pure alcohol per annum.
Okay.
But I think in the future we'll start to increase that volume. It's a nice volume for us to work. It doesn't make us craft, but it doesn't make us one of the big players here. But it is a significant amount of spirit getting made here.
Yeah.
And we like the quality. And it's important quality. Things we do slightly differently. So we talked about the local barley. What we do here as well is once the team has mashed in, they will let it sit for 10 minutes, and then we're looking for a clear wort. So that's a wort with no solids in it. So the underback here will get slowly opened, run down the pipework to the wort pump, and instead of pumping the wort to the washback, we pump it back up this pipe here.
Okay.
So the wort comes through the side glass and then back into the mash tun. And what that means is any of the solids that came through go back into the top. And normally within 10 to 15 minutes of running, the wort will eventually go clear. So what we'll then do is then divert the wort to the washback, and that'll give us the clear wort that we're looking for. That's mashing. Yeah. Let's go to fermentation, see what's going on there. Washbacks, and the smell of the distillery is going on already. We're standing on where we've got space for another 4 on top of that.
Ah, okay.
5 fermentations per week. Monday and Tuesday's mash, 6 to 8 hours of fermentation.
6 to
Yeah. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday's fermentations last 114 hours. So we're going right into the top end of fermentation where, you know, we've done our sugar to alcohol conversion. What we're looking at now is esters and trying to bring in some of that complexity, some of these different flavours and noses in case you start to find in your whiskey. I'm just looking at where we are. Let's check. One of them will be getting filled just now. Yeah, this one. Ooh. So we're just filling that. It'll probably be about maybe another 30 minutes and that will be it finished. What you're seeing on top there is our dried yeast. So that's starting to work already.
Yeast is already added?
Yeast already added, yeah. The first 800 litres that go in at 32.5 degrees centigrade, and then we add in the yeast. We let the yeast catalyse and then we cool down the wort coming in, and we're looking for a final setting temperature of about 18 degrees, and then the yeast will just kick off from that point there. The wash back behind me, that will be 4 days in, so this will be at about 100 hours, okay? Wow. Woo. Ooh. But you get some of the fruits coming through as well, yeah, and some of the citrus notes.
Lovely smell.
The
I mean, I used to make my own beer at home.
Did you? Right, okay.
Yeah, so
cool.
I am familiar
with that, yeah, exactly. The reason we went for the long fermentations was to try and build in some of that complexity, and because we had some time within our production schedule, we thought, okay, let's go and try it. And I think the long fermentations help to add complexity, but I also think it helps to, I don't like the word smooth, but it does, you know, it takes some of the edge off that initial spirit and helps with the maturation. But the main reason for it is building in that complexity on the spirit.
Because I tried the new mix spirit when I met.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. It's really good. Yeah, we're you know, a lot of distilleries don't tend to sell their new make spirit, but we are proud of our new make spirit.
And Elliot told me that you guys won some awards, right?
We did. When we get further around, I think it was 2020.
Yeah, 2020.
We won Best Scottish New Make Spirit.
Yeah.
So that told us early on we were doing something right here at Lindores. Really happy with that.
Yeah.
So that's, as I said, that's about 100 hours fermentation. You've seen that one getting fermented now. And the one at the end, that would have been emptied today.
Okay.
And that's what's now sitting in the water shop. The guys have cleaned it. Probably in about an hour's time, they'll start to steam this.
Okay.
So we'll close the lid, we'll put the steam on, let the temperature in there come up to about 90 degrees, and that's just to kill off any bad bacteria. That's all it's for. Wood is fantastic. I love the wooden washbacks, but you have to keep on top of the hygiene and steaming
I always had a question, like, you know, sometimes some distilleries use like stainless steel.
Yeah. And
some distillers told me that like wood washbacks, like stainless steel washbacks, they're the same. What's your opinion on that?
I can tell you right now, because there is work going on in this, there is a difference between, there is a fungi that lives within the wood that you cannot find within stainless steel, which gives back to the spirit. So the actual final thesis, shall we say, is still to come out, but early indications show that there is a difference between stainless steel and wooden washbacks. So the people that say there's no difference, which tends to be the people with stainless steel, will need to start changing their statements, unfortunately. There is without doubt a difference. But we're waiting for the final evidence to come out. But it's really exciting.
I also believe it would have some effect.
Well, the interesting bit is that during COVID, we had to shut the distillery down for like 5 months.
5 months?
5 months we had to shut the distillery down for. So each week I had to fill the washbacks with fresh water and then empty them. And I had to do this for almost 5 months. When the distillery started back up again in August, the spirit character changed. And it was because the water had taken everything out of the wood. Yeah. And it took us about 2 months to get back into character again. So that also provides evidence that there is something in the wood adding to the wort/wash that then goes forward into distillation. But we look after them, we do look after them.
Fantastic.
We'll quickly go into the corner there for you to see a bit more of the abbey and the distillery. Here, the abbey is the stretch of the tree line there, all the way down to the stone wall there. So, it's a big building. The abbey and the monks took up a lot of the... I like this because you're able to look at the past but also the present. It's no. We've got the 3 stills, we've got the wash still and the 2 spirit stills. It's not triple distillation, we just run the 2 spirit stills in tandem.
Okay.
They work as sisters, okay?
Okay.
Typical to Scotland, we like to give our stills names.
Yeah.
So the bigger still here that you're seeing, she is called Dodo. Dodo, and that is because Drew, our managing director and founder, his mum was called Dorothy, but she was affectionately known within Newborough as Dodo.
Okay.
So that's got the name Dodo. The 2 smaller spirit stills, the one furthest away is Poppy, and the one in the middle is G, and that is Helen and Drew's 2 daughters. Okay. Now, interestingly, even though they look like identical stills, they do give off a slightly different spirit style. And I've been asked numerous times by Poppy and G which one makes the better spirit. Luckily, I have managed to be at my diplomatic best and I've not told either which one is better. It's better having friendly sisters than squabbling sisters. So I tell them they both make exceptionally good spirit. The wash still, so when the wash still first comes in, the vapour going into the wash safe, for me I get pineapple, coconut, grapefruit, mango, banana, all the tropical fruits you can think of. That to me is exactly what comes into the wash safe as the vapours start to rise. This again, wash still will normally run for 5 hours. 5 hours to 5.5 hours, 10,000 litre charge. Again, we don't rush things, so we run the stills at a nice pace. We're not trying to force anything. You'll notice that there's no frothing jumping up and down the windows. Everything's settled, everything's going at its own pace. One of the things I was acutely aware of is not to try and force a distillery to maybe do something that it doesn't want to do. Just let it make the spirit and the character that it's happy making. You know, let it work and tell you almost, here's what I'm happy making.
Yep.
So we'll go over to final distillation. So, yeah, you're alright. 2020, you make Lindores Abbey, you make spirit. So it seems 3 years ago, it seems like yesterday. So we've got Poppy and G. Both of them charged with 3,500 litres. Steam put on, and then normally within the hour we'll start to get the first of the pour shots coming through. What we do here is we either introduce some water, just make sure it stays clear, or we let it run for a maximum of 15 minutes. Whichever comes first, that's what we go with. Normally we'll cut on at about 75%, and we'll come off the cut at 67. We go a little bit lower just to add again a little bit of complexity into our spirit. We don't want the spirit to be too clean. We want the cask to be able to work with something as well. So we come down to 67 and let that go forward with the spirit. Normally on the cup for about an hour and a half, and then off, and then we just start driving the paints through the stills themselves. Again, normally about 6 hours worth. 5.5 hours to 6 hours to go through the two stills. Obviously we're having the twin stills, we've got a lot more proper contact as well. So it helps with that clean spirit, but what's also interesting is they're quite short and they've got a descending line arm. So some of the heavier compounds have got a chance to get over the top as well. So again, it's adding to that complexity that we're looking for max distillation. We'll take a little trip to the warehouse.
Yeah.
And that'll be us, okay?
Yeah.
So this is our very busy warehouse. Every single cask that has been filled here, and it's sat on these on that caskware, okay? So we filled everything here. The first ever cask filled at Lindores, that one there.
Wow.
So that's cask number 1 from 2017.
Okay, still maturing?
Still maturing, yeah, left it alone. We filled 20 casks in 2017, and I refer to them as family casks. Okay, they're put away and they're for the family to decide what we're going to do with them. Out of these 20 casks, I hope that we can get one of them to maybe 40. You know, whoever takes over for myself and other people in the future, we try and get one of these casks to 40 years of age. Most of the casks you see in here are for private ownership. Okay. The casks on the lower are our own casks, so that's casks for ourselves. For me, I've always said that you need to make good spirit and you need to put it into good casks to make great whiskey.
Yeah.
There is no point in putting good spirit into bad casks, you're wasting your time, and there's no point in putting bad spirit into good casks. You're wasting your time. Yeah. You have to put good spirit into good casks to make great whiskey. Wow. And that's my belief anyway. So that's what
what you guys are doing.
That's what we're doing. We're making good spirit, but we're also filling into very good casks as well. Bottling. So if you've tasted some of our whiskey out of a bottle, all the bottling gets done in that small room in there as well, okay? So we try and keep control of as much as we can. And that's it, that's a very quick tour of the distillery from start to finish.
That's great.
Okay,
Thank you.
let me take you back to the front.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for your time.
Take care again, okay?
Take care.
Thank you.